Well, what have we here? Hello again, everyone. Today I am going to show you one of Whirlpool's newer direct drive washers. This is actually in my brother's house. We bought this from Lowe's just about, I would say, I guess, maybe June or July or something, one of those months. And I just want to say, if you're looking for a place that has awesome delivery, you have to go with Lowe's because, they had said they were going to deliver these between the washer and the dryer. They said they were going to deliver these between the times of 10 and 12, and they were here right at 10. I've never seen someone deliver that well before. And they got it down here very easily, which is great. So, give you a shot of it. It is, I don't think this is the year it was made, but we got it in 2010, so we'll just say that it's from that year. As you can see, the outside is, for the most part, kind of the same as the 1991. Let's say here. And the control panel is definitely updated in all those years. But for the most part, you have the control dial on the right, you have the water level on the left. It's kind of like the same thing. And we'll take a look inside. And you're going to have to use a light in here. It's dark. Here we go. As you can see, one of the more noticeable differences is you can see that there's a new fabric softener dispenser, and it's been like this for a while. But I think you can also see that the holes in the tub are now spiral instead of the, I guess what you want to call the checkerboard pattern. And there's also a different tub ring as well. I think for like these different models, it kind of varies. And but overall, it still works just as great. Actually, the agitator itself is different because I don't know how well I can't really show this to you very well with the camera, but there's like little bumps on the bottom of the spirals here. So like when this goes forward, I guess it helps to push everything down. And the only noticeable difference is right at the end, like it kind of just abruptly ends instead of curves into the agitator itself like it did with the older one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always check out my video on the 1990 Whirlpool washer. And there's not much else. Actually, if you notice, you may notice that there's no lid switch hole here. You're like, well, where is it? Actually, the lid switch itself is inside the cabinet. I guess because maybe Whirlpool caught on or whatever. Many washer companies saw people were like overriding lid switches with, pencils, like I did with the one from 1990 or other things. But you know what? There's actually a trick you can do with these, and that, if some of you don't know, if you actually take off this door hinge or lid hinge by the use of these two screws right here, you can actually get this hinge out and push it down, and that actually engages the lid switch, which I think is like, well, pretty funny. And actually, I have taken the cabinet off this machine before to see if I could possibly override the lid switch mechanically, but there's actually a tab on it that will actually not allow this to close if it's pushed into the engaged position. So I gotta hand it to Whirlpool there. They came very well prepared for people like me and others out there who like to do stuff like that. I'll get you a shot of what's back here. You got a little red and blue for the hoses, and if you notice, the drain hose here kind of goes into a standpipe, and actually this pipe goes down to a container that has a pump. Because if you look, you can see that the house drain is higher than the actual level of the washer. So in order for it to drain successfully, it needs to be pumped out and put into the house drain. There are kind of less options nowadays with washers compared to back then. Just for this particular model, it has 3 settings, but only one person lives here, which is my brother, so you really don't need anything else. This is probably one of the biggest complaints that people have right here, is that with many of the newer washers, with cool, warm, and hot, you get what's called auto temperature control, which means you're not always going to get hot and cold at the same time. There's like some kind of temperature sensor that, with cool and warm, pulsates the hot on and off, and then if you go to hot, it pulsates the cold on and off, which, I guess is kind of inconvenient, but, to be completely honest, it's not like the worst thing, I guess, if you want to call it that. You got the extra rinse option, which is always good. The control dial is, it's very similar to the 1991, at least in the normal section, because if you remember when I used that one, it was basically in this area that I selected the cycles for that video back in, oh geez, that was like 4 years ago. I can't believe that. Almost 4 years ago. And while I'm down here, I think I'll give you a little video of the dryer, too. Very simple design. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm always looking for with washers and dryers are mechanical controls, because over the years I have found them to be a lot more reliable than all that, computerized nonsense that you see nowadays. You got a temperature selector, and push to start, you just push the cycle signals button, and it turns on. One of the things Whirlpool did change is this. If you notice, when I pull this out, the lint filter is actually attached to the cover itself. Now, to be honest, I kind of find that a little bit better, actually, than the one from 1990. I just find it a little bit easier to get it in and out. And a gas dryer, of course. If you want to know something cool, I actually can, past the gas valve down, I actually connected all of that myself, and that was the very first time I ever connected a gas line to anything, so I guess you could say I'm kind of proud of that. And actually, the exhaust duct here, I could not for the life of me get that onto the back of the dryer, and then my mom helped me, and she got it on in like a matter of seconds. I don't know what she did differently, but she was absolutely amazing. Moms are always good to have around. And the exhaust duct just goes up to the ceiling, and then just goes out. You can see a little window right there. It just goes out of the house like so right there. And, well, I guess one of the things Whirlpool kind of cheapened up on, if you want to call it that, is, if you notice, actually I'm kind of close, hold on, is that if you notice the front panel here, it's just a single panel. Like if you remember from the 1990 dryer, there was an access panel just below the door, and they've since removed that. I'm assuming because, it's cheaper to make it this way. And actually, if you notice right there, it does a little cap for a viewing port. That's, if you have a gas dryer, your dryer will have that because it lets you see the burner to make sure that it's working properly. And got a little garbage can in the middle there. Anything else about this? Yeah, and also, if you notice, it says all cold rinses. That's kind of unfortunate because I always thought the warm water rinse really helped get all of the soap out. I mean, it still does okay with the cold rinse, but at the same time, I just thought, it did a little bit of a better job. I tried really hard to, find a washer that gave you that option, but I don't think you're ever going to find a washer today that has such an option. Because of, all these people, save the planet, save the planet. Well, the planet looks okay to me, so I mean, seriously. I think they're just paranoid. Well, I think that's basically it, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, if I go back to the dryer just quickly, I'm just showing you some features on the newer stuff. What is nice about the newer dryer is when I open the door, look at that. Actually, here, let me turn this off. Look at that. You got a light inside. Which actually is pretty convenient because there are many times at home that we have left stuff in here because we just couldn't really see, it was kind of dark. So I guess this light does kind of help with that a little bit. And, okay, well that's pretty much it, guys. So in the next video, you will see a video of this in action. And I just want to warn you guys ahead of time, I'm going to be putting this on heavy, normal, so I can get the most warm water out of the auto temperature control. So, the washer is going to do a wash agitation for a pretty damn long time. So, as usual in all my other videos, I will put the time slots in the video description so you can click to when the machine's about to change cycle. That way, I'm not going to make you sit through like 20 minutes of agitation. That would just be torture. So I definitely want to do that to you guys. And actually, you know what? During when the machine does the first drain cycle, I'll probably just move the camera over to the pump temporarily, just so you could see it or hear it in action. I don't know how well you're going to hear it when this thing runs, but hopefully you'll be able to get some kind of sense of it working. All right, so we'll see you in the next video.